welcome to video 6 of our 2022 to 2023 Common App Breakdown series. In this one, we'll be doing prompt number 6. Describe a topic, idea, or concept you find so engaging that it makes you lose all track of time. Why does it captivate you? What or who do you turn to when you want to learn more? Once you get closer to the end of the topic list, you really get a sense for what the essay wants from you because they basically remove all nuance from the task and just ask you directly, what do you like doing ever? This topic combines elements from topics 1 through 5, but if you focus on how this question is different from the others, the one thing that stands out is that this prompt is only asking you to focus on a topic and to build your story around that. We'll start with sample essays and talk about where to get some inspiration. If you've obtained the college essay book, there are parts that can be used for reference across every section for prompt 6 simply because the topic is so broad in allowing you to choose your content. If you'd rather go straight to essays, good sample essays will be very easy to find since you can search for how I got into business, physics, outreach, etc., and you will see many different variations of this essay. If brainstorming has been tricky for you, try picking a great sample essay and then spend a few minutes thinking about what a proper brainstorm would look like for you to build an essay like that. Try to build your own original outline based on the level of detail you brainstormed for that essay. And with that, on to brainstorming. Let's keep today's brainstorming just focused on the topic today with some English and cooking/STEM essays, but with some advanced outlines. In this essay, you can see the student has created an outline around the subject of English itself, mentioning people, challenges, setbacks, events, awards, and goals. There's more in this essay than what prompts 1 through 5 ask while containing elements from all 5 of them. It is very possible to create a strong essay even with number 6, but it's tricky because you have to plan that sequence just right to bring it back to your prompt and conclude logically. Also, this is a pretty heavy outline. If you ever find that you need to write 3 or more sentences for just one brainstorming note, but you have a really big outline, that's okay. That's why you edit at the brainstorming level. If that happens, go back to your outline and cross off the parts that you feel the essay could do without. Back to number 6. Let's see how far you can take this topic. Creativity in essays is very good. It's not a necessity, but it definitely boosts your chances when your amazing essay also looks and sounds different. Let's look at how another student can plan this and produce a completely different type of essay. Just on an initial pass after the first paragraph, it is unclear if the writer has understood the prompt. It seems like they are about to talk about their favorite foods or recipes, a very weird way to start an essay for university. This is exactly how some of the very best, most effective essays begin, with this immediate sense of ambiguity that is clarified with intensity throughout the essay. The first paragraph gives the reader some clues about what is to come in that there are strange technical details. In the second paragraph, it becomes clear that the writer is using their love for cooking to explain their intense interest in engineering or science. Note that they make it clear that their failure here didn't matter, and the reader assumes it's because they were doing it for the cooking. This is a good lighthearted contrast to the seriousness of the content that is being discussed. In paragraph 3, we see the student has now moved from materials to actual design and fabrication, culminating in the 11th grade science fair win. The essay ties back to the intro with a joke while explaining the writer's qualifications through the lens of that joke. You'll notice this essay doesn't even mention any other people, and that's fine. It would stand out in a big stack of essays that just reiterate their accompanying transcripts. Now, these are just 2 of any number of combinations of sequences and stories that would still answer this topic completely. The only thing they really want to see here is how does someone like you respond to a question like this? It's so direct that all of the creativity has to come from you. Are you creative? Because this or number 7 really might be perfect topics for you. We've done a lot of different outlines and examples, and hopefully, if you've looked at some sample essays, you'll have an idea for how long the essay should be and about how much you can say with that word count. Just remember that even when you're done with the essay, there are a few last-minute things that you can still do. For today's writing tip, we're going to do something a little more advanced and discuss a polishing step right before your essay is turned in. Fine-tuning your tone by paragraphs for flow. It'll apply to any school, but this is a step that is particularly scored well in the most competitive schools. So once you're done with your essay and you're happy with the content, look through each paragraph to see if it conveys the feeling you intended. If you won something, is the vocabulary there appropriate to convey the emotion you felt at the time to the reader and how significant it was to you? If you could summarize each paragraph or major part with just one tonal adjective, what would you use? Find the words in your paragraph to convey this and see if they do the best job possible of expressing how you felt at the time. Maybe an essay looks like this. The writer didn't realize it, but the wording gives off a redundant tone for the first two and last two paragraphs. Instead of throwing their essay away, they can look at the structure and change certain phrases to bring out the tone they intended. They can take words that were initially vague and change them to vocabulary that emphasizes their focus and technical strength in their field of interest. Along with this, by changing paragraph 4 to highlight their confidence, they can create a much stronger conclusion. Using the same content, the writer can also create a third tonal flow like this, simply by changing some verbs or phrases and focusing on different aspects of the same event. By looking at the different tonal outlines, the writer can experiment with their essay without having to build everything out multiple times. Looking at how the tone flows throughout your essay is not difficult. You can do it in your head or take light notes while looking for phrases that put your personality on paper. Although you can plan this out before you write, it may create too many pieces for you to think about, making the writing process more difficult. This is something you should do when you have all the content down and want to look at your essay from a different angle during your review process. That is something good to think of at the very end that not everyone takes the time to address. And with that, we'll end here for this video. The next one will be the last video in our Common App series, prompt number 7. Remember to like and subscribe if you thought this video helped you out with your essay, and thank you for watching.